It's going to be a little bit of a nut house because also with Phenduka podcast and chill uncensored and all of that. And Dineo now is gravitating towards her 40. She's no longer that drive girl with Chili M.
Nkululeko on Cultr.
Hello, everyone. We're not gonna cut this out from the episode. Hi, everyone. Shout out to everyone who's tuning in. Welcome to Nkululeko on Cultr. This is the podcast squad. Enjoy this episode. We all are in here. Kgaugelo Sebata is in. As always, is our videographer. This is Kgomotso, Nhlanhla, and Tholo Mutaong. My name is Nkululeko Nkeo. Enjoy the episode. Enjoy the conversation as well. I'm in and around the room. I won't be ghosting today, but I'll be with the team in spirit, just checking the sound as well. Guys, you good?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And yes, we welcome this visitor who's got a fur shirt. What's your name and what are you doing here?
My name is Kgomotso, aka Kgomotso, and I'm all fabulous things, fabulous life, and thought-provoking conversations. And it's such an honor and pleasure to be invited to your cultural vocabulary of, sort of ways of. I love it.
Yes.
Load shedding. Yeah.
All right. I know we don't blame you.
Too much excitement.
But I love the intro though. I love the intro.
Yeah.
Like he's giving us a. Okay, let me stop there.
Yes.
Let's get the pronouns right. Is it a he? Is it a?
9-binary. It is 2022, and in our community there is every letter of the LGBTQI plus community stands for something, and I feel like it puts you in a certain box when you're gonna categorize yourself, because as human beings we evolve. Our values and our labels change over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Especially once you get to beyond third floor.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm approaching 40 in the next 6 months.
What
So.
alphabet is 9-binary?
It's-
9-binary means I do not want to be called queer
Besides
by.
what alphabet in the alphabet is that? Because we know L.
It's not
Ada.
there. So the millennials can actually explain it
It's
better.
plus.
It's plus.
Oh, that's
Yes,
the plus. That's where the plus comes in.
Exactly, yeah. And the millennials are so sexually liberated that, they're able to non-confirm themselves and they live freely without labels. And I just,
So
wish...
you're there as well.
I'm there as well because 1 minute you wake up and you go like, no, today hasn't so machi dafetola. Njengayizolo bese kwi men conference.
Yeah.
I know beku proper.
Yeah.
And then lama letters sizwabona kusasa.
Yeah, no, but we out is all.
Yeah,
Bosema out.
And fethu yazi bezibuye laphana discussing all things and all issues that men are facing in this country. Not all men are trash. Men are not trash. It's just that they lack courage to call each other
I
out.
the voice
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, how it changes, right?
Of course, darling.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Yes.
So it just goes. So it goes where it needs to go when it has to go.
Because now then you are not limited. Yeah, that's why probably with the look as well, or how I've carried myself since I got sexually liberated. I don't like categorizing myself. And there are times where you go to our gay community places, and some of my fellow people, they will think, because I gym a lot and I'm quite masculine. So they'll think I'm top. And I'm like, no.
Do you want to show us your muscles?
Not yet.
Just a
That's
glimpse.
very far.
Just a glimpse.
Wanted to see that masculine side of yours.
Not now.
You're gonna ruin my fur moment. Life is fur.
Oh, wow. Anyway, Mr. T, thanks for that.
Kgomotso.
Yes.
Kgomogol. He says he's a mogul in the making, or are you a mogul
Kgomogol.
already?
I'm a mogul already. I'm just waiting for that, that tiny binsy of the light. When you can see the light and the glass ceiling is about to break, everything that you've worked hard for in the last maybe a decade and a half or 10 years, because some people's breakthroughs come after, 15 years of overnight success.
Sometimes 30 years.
Sometimes,
Exactly.
yeah.
The higher the
It's not
calling,
limited, yeah.
the difficult and greater the path is. So I will say I'm a mogul in making because my journey has always been ups and downs. I've seen them come, I've seen them go, and getting to 40, then I realized that everything that I've worked hard for is about to make sense.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're looking at that retirement or that one stamp, that cliff of your body of work and your service to humanity and the value that you bring, even in monetary or in recognition of your industry or the public. So I will say I'm a mogul. Sekushota ukuthi nje i-bank account i-read njenge-phone number tag.
Phone number tag.
Yeah.
Right now, ihamba
074 304 sila ku 5.
Oh.
But maybe it's 6 I get
Yeah.
with those zeros.
Yeah.
So it's 89.
Yeah.
It's a 10.
And kadi dollars.
Oh, okay.
That's the mogul.
Among these I'm a rent.
I love
Visa?
that.
I'm a
million.
dollars.
Oh, millions of dollars or just dollars?
Billions and millions of rands and billions of dollars.
There we go. Was that a Zuma moment?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I got a blonde moment or it was a Zuma moment, but something
Sure,
to
what just happened?
You guys are so fun.
It felt like a Zuma moment.
Yeah.
11 teen. Of course.
What's the tea?
You guys are
yes.
hilarious.
How have you been?
I have been good. I think this week started in a different way. I don't know if I was more structured in terms of my planning but yeah, I've been good and it has been going well. And of course, I mean, it's a holiday tomorrow, so also it's like, hey, long weekend.
School uniform.
But it's for young people. Are you guys considering yourself still young?
Well, obviously.
Or young at heart? Which one is it?
I think I'm forever young, man. I might be older in terms of the chronological, age, but I think because the thing about me is and this is what I was told literally yesterday, that I'm able to understand people from whatever age, the youngest and the oldest, and I think
Makes sense.
that also comes out a lot when you have family gatherings and. Immediately the kids are running to you and they want to be
Yes.
around you and like you can relate with all of them. So I find myself being able to, and sometimes I sit with old people and I don't get bored, because there's so much wisdom from them as well. But also they love to be listened to. So when you give them
They wanna be
that,
heard.
yeah,
True.
Yeah, because that's all they want.
Yeah.
They just want that attention. Because I think they're one of the neglected communities, right?
True.
Yes.
The elderly. Because like the millennials are busy trying to make the next million or
Yes.
their first million. The younger ones are trying to look cool, smart, and the kids are simply just being that.
Yeah.
And then the older generation is sort of going through a midlife crisis of some
Menopause.
sort, menopause,
Yeah.
and some sort of regrets and some sort
Most
of
definitely.
maybe this is the time for me to start my PhD kind of thing. But then those guys, they'll tell you that slowly is the fastest way
Way
to
to
get
go.
where you want to be.
Yeah.
But
But with the world moving so fast with the internet age as well, you just feel like, am I, missing the train? Am I being left behind? Am I doing enough? And what if whatever that I'm offering into the market or into the industry, it's no longer the it.
talking
You know.
about the industry,
true.
guys. What's happening?
Influencers are taking over, guys, and traditional, ordinary media is not having it. Yeah, and also, can you quantify the sales and the value and the sustainability of these influencers that are bringing to these brands? Are they being misled, or we are missing something? Tina gama traditional broadcasters and media houses,
I don't think we're missing anything. It's just a lazy element that comes from certain departments.
Okay.
There's budgets for certain. There's allocation of budgets
Yeah.
for every department, right? But there is a lack of capacity. There's also a lack of knowledge as to what is needed for a particular field, a particular industry. So I don't think much of the budget goes into research, because if it did, they would be ahead of trends.
Most definitely.
They'll definitely be ahead of times as
Yeah.
far as trends, as far as knowing what influencers mean in South Africa.
South Africa.
Because now there's a comparison to the rest of the world. I'm
Yeah.
not going to particularly point out at a country or a continent.
But we know the one that
the
is
rest
booming.
of the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that said, they're thinking that we are there yet, but not enough analysis, not enough research has gone behind that to find out if, as South Africans,
Yeah.
are we there yet? And the kind of influences that you get. What kind of influences are they? What are they influencing?
Exactly.
You know, are you going with them because they've got the numbers, or are you going with them because there is an influence, there's an impact
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a particular space that they will run to, and they will make sure that what you're selling and that message that you want to relay
Yes.
goes to the right people? Because right now they've got an audience, yes,
Yeah.
They
but
do.
what
Yeah.
kind of audience do they have?
Are those people buying those brands, or they are just, people
Adding numbers.
Adding
'Cause-
numbers,
but
yeah.
then those are the analytics that you can actually see
Yeah.
when you look at the age, when you look at the demographics of
course.
those particular people. And then that's when you realize that I might be betting on the wrong horse here. And
definitely.
it's time for me to actually change the strategy. Talking of which, Dineo Ranaka, Phenduka, they are making waves.
Yes.
Dineo Ranaka is leaving Metro FM. She's left, actually, Metro FM.
Good move.
She is... actually on Friday.
On Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Friday's
17th.
the
Yeah.
17th,
So
the
that's
last
when
day
she
on
takes
Metro
over.
FM.
She's not alone. She's with Phenduka. So it's Dineo Ranaka and Phenduka
Yeah.
Yeah.
that are going to take over from Skumba and Thomas.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a sad one, though, because I loved Skumba and Thomas.
Yeah.
And I might blame Thomas a little bit here, because when they paired him with Skumba, we are all just looking forward to Skumba's comedic side. And I just feel like Thomas was not allowing Skumba to crack a little bit of jokes there and there. You know, I used to tune in hoping to get, because Skumba is actually by far one of my, if not ultimate, my number one South African comedian, because he gets me, even his jokes. And a couple of weeks ago, I was with him at the other launch of the DStv show, and we had that conversation, because I'm like, yeah, Kasi boy that gets us black people, and how to joke with us in a way that is not condescending. Even if
was
it's, you know,
that a smart move to have
A
a
comedian,
comedian on
yeah.
a breakfast show?
Exactly.
You know,
Yes, for stress.
But
no,
maybe
I,
a segment.
I love that.
Yeah.
If it for, and the reason I'm asking,
Yeah.
I mean, Thomas is a broadcaster.
Yes.
You know, he that's what he's bringing, right? Skumba, he's obviously more of a comedian than a broadcaster,
Yeah.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So for me, they gelled because they got each other.
Yeah,
And
true.
I mean, a lot of time they'll be laughing, they'll be sharing jokes and all of that. But at the same time, as a radio station, when you introduce certain things, you have to be cognizant of the fact that it could be a trial and an error can be there.
Yeah.
Because as much as we want to be happy and laugh and all of that, but it's in the morning. Also, you want also important things to come out. But
I get
but
that.
but you want somebody knowledgeable that can really bring different aspects of life in terms of what is happening in society, what is happening in business, and all of those. So if those other aspects are missing on a breakfast show,
Yeah, then
you're likely to lose
Exactly.
listeners,
Audience,
the audience, because you're starting a day, and as you start a day, you sort of want a compass for the day. You want
Definitely.
a sense of what has been happening, what's going on,
guide.
like a sort of a guide.
Yeah.
So if you're a radio station and you miss that, you're likely then to lose people that would want to.
Do we know for a fact if they lost people?
Yes, they lost people way before Skumba and Thomas started the show.
Yeah.
As soon as that announcement was done, people had that mindset to say, a comedian and Thomas.
Yeah.
I've not heard Thomas in a while,
Yeah.
in the morning and all of those things. And remember, this particular radio station that we're talking about was for the old and sexy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it had a much
The middle class.
older
Yeah. That more-
audience
yeah.
that was middle class, that sort of knew. And you look at the
Your Black
breakfast team
Diamonds.
that was there before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
informative. They
Aha.
kind of gave you
Aha.
that kick in the morning.
I love what you're saying. You can think of who's that guy who's late.
Eddie Zandu?
No, who moved to the other radio station and he passed when he was there.
Which guy?
He was singing. He was singing the Dr. Kumal at some point.
Oh, Bob Mabena.
Bob Mabena.
Oh, yes, Bob was
You
the
think of
man.
the likes of Bob Mabena,
Yeah.
who has been on Breakfast Show on the same radio station.
Yeah.
Bob Mabena was such an amazing broadcaster.
Yeah.
So knowledgeable, so engaging. You get what I mean? And even his delivery as well, you know. So already a bar was set on a certain level.
Yeah.
So now when you come after that, you have to be very careful in terms of what you introduce, how you introduce it
Yeah,
as well.
true. Or maybe even closer to that level of the maturity or the target audience
Yeah.
for that station.
Yeah.
As you've emphasized that they are much more of the Tsinaga Masini citizen. You know what I mean? But do you think maybe this? I'm just like throwing my creative 2 cents out there. Do you think maybe throughout the entire slot of like maybe that 3 hours, if they gave like Skumba a little bit of a 7 minutes nyana of a comedy minute or comedy?
But remember, that's how he
dun-dun.
started.
Yeah.
He started, I think it was on Fridays.
Yes,
He started on
with
Fridays.
the late
yeah.
Bob.
Yeah,
Right,
he was
yeah.
given segments on Fridays.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
So why couldn't they
And he did
continue
very
with
well.
Maintain that. But
Yeah.
remember
Very
as well,
well.
management change.
Yeah.
So the most controversial point right now is the fact that her name is Bongile, I forgot her name.
Yeah.
Surname, sorry. She came from the SAPC. Many said that she messed up the SAPC and how she started using things that she wanted to use
Yeah.
and not necessarily followed the radio procedure way of doing things. And she moved over to KayaFM.
Yeah.
So I think her mandate is to increase the ratings. So as soon as that becomes your mandate, you become desperate and you do almost anything and everything
Yeah, because you're
that you
trying to
think
keep
is
up.
going to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
But
true.
you're not necessarily once again doing the research,
I
looking
feel
at the
you.
stats, looking at the background of the radio station and looking where to get it back to the shape that it's
Yeah.
been and what has always been there. So I think that came as a problem because now her mandate was deliver us these numbers
Yeah.
or deliver the numbers.
Yeah,
But
true.
based on what? Because now you look at Dineo, you look at Saul, right? Both of them are, okay, Dineo's approaching her 40s.
Yeah.
Saul, I think, is still pretty
Mid-
much in the mid
Late
30s.
mid-
Early
30s.
30s actually.
Early 30s.
Because he's still in the
Yeah.
early 30s. And you look at that combination, look, the energy is amazing.
Yeah.
But is that the right platform?
Also the
for
mindset.
people
Yeah.
that were
Yeah.
there, like the people that have left, and I've heard this before that they say
I get
the
you.
backbone of
Yeah.
that station right now is the show that takes place I think between 9 and 12.
Oh,
That
yes.
is with T-Bows.
I
But
love
he's
T-Bows.
the backbone of that station. If he leaves,
Yeah. It's
then
done.
that's
done.
it with that station.
But, just to add on what you're saying, my thing about Dineo leaving Metro FM, particularly the show that she was doing,
Yeah.
Dineo has a supernatural gift. That's
Spiritual.
a spiritual
Yeah.
gift
You want to heal.
of healing people.
Yes.
And she was doing it so well on that show. That show gave her the opportunity to bring that.
Also to
you know,
extend her
and also
spiritual
to
gifts.
extend her spiritual gifts
Yeah,
on
true.
that, right? So now you're shifting from that to a breakfast show. That's going to limit you so much that this other aspect of you, because remember when she, I think she was on this show when she went to Epetlo and did all her
Yes.
stuff,
Yeah.
you know, and she came back, she blossomed on this other aspect of you that
Yeah.
you have, which you were using this platform to
Yeah.
actually
Service.
to service.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
to what extent is it going to limit her? That's
Yeah.
my worry.
Okay, can I come back on that one?
Yeah.
Remember, I think when she became a darling, a household name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uteti, the late Chile
Chile M.
Chile M,
Yeah.
Chile M
Yeah.
brought out the best of Dineo, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
on that drive show, like that combination,
Yeah.
that energy was
Yeah.
everything. Maybe Dineo should reserve those energies, those healing powers, whatever that she's got, for somewhere else.
Yeah.
For the
Outside of
podcast.
the
'Cause
broadcasting.
she's got, outside
Yeah.
of the broadcasting.
Yeah.
Let her find a platform to be able to grow that where it allows her to grow fully.
I hear-
because
I hear
there,
what you're saying,
it's,
but-
it's,
But
it's
like
sort
I'm
of
with
just
you,
Knowing
Jay,
her-
Polo. I'm with you because
knowing
she shines
her.
so much brighter on radio because she's authentically herself and away from the gimmicks and everything.
Yeah,
she's internalizing and the voice
I'm
becomes
I'm
the
struggling
tool
to see her
for
holding
that.
back.
Yeah, definitely. Because
I'm
also
struggling to see
the
that.
morning you can't give us much more of that spirituality in the
No, no,
morning
no,
because
no.
the campus
Yeah,
and then we want to
yeah.
be informed and all of that. It's going to be a little bit of a nut house because also with Soul Phenduka, podcast and chill uncensored and all of that. And Dineo now is gravitating towards her 40. She's no longer that drive girl with Chile M. She's evolved as a woman, as a mother, as also someone who is, in service to other people's spirituality.
I
and
take her
everything.
as a
It's gonna be
spiritual
little bit of
leader
an
because
art house.
basically that was what she was doing on Metro FM.
Yes.
She was doing that.
Yeah, it was
being
a great
spiritual,
platform.
You know,
Yeah.
I
and
don't know.
I'm
I think
struggling
maybe it's
to
a challenge
say.
that she's taken upon herself right
Yeah,
now. Because I mean,
yeah.
remember, as a human being, as a broadcaster, there's certain challenges that you need to take on from time to time.
You challenge
Yeah.
yourself.
You need to challenge
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
and I mean,
true.
approaching the level 4,
Yeah.
everybody's got a specific goal.
Yeah,
To say, when
yeah.
I reach level 4, I should have, as a broadcaster,
Yeah.
done a drive show in the afternoon, in the morning.
Yeah.
I should have done this
Yeah.
and that and that.
Yeah.
We don't know what she's working towards in
Yeah.
terms of
Her higher
CVI
goal,
Yeah, because
maybe.
and
she
her
did say
ultimate
that
goal.
they are offering her a good opportunity.
Yeah,
So
true.
as you say, it might
It
be
might
that.
be a
But also
challenge for
you're
her.
right because she is an experienced broadcaster.
Yeah, she is
Possibly
quite
she'll be
seasoned,
able
yeah.
to.
Handle the challenge because Anil is thriving on the other radio station.
yes.
So probably maybe she's gravitating
You know
towards
what?
that
Can
caliber.
I play the devil's advocate there?
Yes.
Other people have said she's got a good team around her. Not that she
I am more
makes
for
the
that.
show.
Yeah.
I am more for
The
that.
men
like people
power.
have said
That's
that.
my
no,
view as
she's
well.
surrounded
Yeah, the
with a
infrastructure
She's got
very
allows
good
it to
team.
thrive.
Yeah, not Yena per se,
Yeah.
but
True.
the team around her is
Yeah.
like making her the person that
Most
she is.
definitely. I've seen those videos, those TikTok videos and those live Instagram. You can tell that, when your environment is consumable and your environment has all these logistics and infrastructure in place, you're able to thrive as a talent because
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about 1, 2, 3, Yeah, so probably KayaFM's infrastructure is going to allow Dineo to thrive and shine and blossom.
I mean, looking at the fact that a lot of her age mates
Yes.
are on KayaFM
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they've left other younger stations
Yeah.
and younger energy-driven stations,
Yes.
and they've gravitated towards that particular station. Maybe, like I'm saying, she's got that goal and she wants to
Reach
direct her
that
powers
pinnacle.
and
Yeah.
direct her energy differently on that particular challenge that she's taken upon herself,
Yeah.
and she wants to move there. But South Africa is not taking it so well.
No,
The
they're not.
listeners, the
Yeah,
audience of
they're
KayaFM is
actually
like,
not.
"Ay, bo."
Also, Moduna, we are missing her on
Yeah.
the 9 to 12
Litla
because we
Mulatella,
will
where she
hear.
goes.
Yeah,
We
yeah, that's
don't-
that's the
thing
thing.
is, we
I
also
did
don't know what that show is going to entail. Yes, we know what a
Yeah.
breakfast show is going to be, but maybe it's going to be a different kind of breakfast show.
Yeah, true.
So-
Yeah.
And we are
So
open
it's
to
just a
change
way to
because
see.
things are ever changing, things are ever evolving. And while we're still on our celebrated broadcasters, my other favorite girl, Aifambeni, is she thriving on that breakfast show? Kuto.
Kuto,
Or maybe she's now under Mo's shadow. Because she was the celebrated drive time, like
Yeah,
the
but-
first lady to be on drive solo. Now she's
Yeah.
a little bit of a
Levels,
Levels,
again, was
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So
Alignment.
she was for a youth
Station.
radio
Yeah.
station for that kind of content. She's still on drive,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
in the morning, just for a slightly more mature
Yeah.
audience. So she also still needs to learn a thing or two. Because now remember, EYFM, I'm not sure if they still in Gauteng
Yeah.
Yeah.
and on DStv. But right now she's national.
national.
The
Yeah.
numbers are completely
Completely
different. The
different.
dynamics also are completely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So I think for her, it's a great move.
Yeah.
It's a great learning curve
Yeah.
that she
Yeah.
will find herself
Yeah.
like where she feels that, you know what, I'll grow into my. She'll definitely go back at some point.
Yeah,
But
I feel
remember, you gotta pay your dues.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
Just
true.
because
That's
you
true.
pay them somewhere
But
else,
also
it does
the-
not guarantee you
There are
a,
no
a
handouts.
first class ticket to the next level
Yeah,
of
true.
life.
Yeah,
That's
there's-
just not
yeah.
how it
There's no
works.
pass.
and also the dynamics is she was the main host on her show, and now she's co-hosting.
Co-hosting.
Yeah.
And someone is driving the show.
So now you won't be as you were, right?
As free, as liberated, yeah.
Think of Mas Chabandlov
Yeah.
when she was on Power FM. She was brilliant. She was there because she was
Yeah.
the host. You know,
I
she
feel you.
gave it all. Then she went to Metro FM. Right, so she gets there. She's becoming a co-host.
Yeah.
So now you sort of you feel like she's
Downgrade a bit,
sort of
yeah,
shrinking. You know, because you know her as the host, as
Yeah.
the lead. You know, so it's yeah.
Maybe that's when then you lose that fan. That's where you lose that listener. because now they're no longer getting Mohale the way
Oluwaga.
in the
Yeah,
cinema
yeah,
class.
yeah. I mean, I used to drive to class with Maschaba and drive back to class with Maschaba.
Yes.
And when she moved to Metro, I felt like she's shrinking. And for me, it was, I can't listen to this because I know you are able to give more.
Yeah.
So now it's more of you're holding back. So
yeah.
those dynamics as well, they play a part in how you deliver.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Thuso will also, you know,
She'll jump in.
she'll
get
jump
the flow
in,
of it.
you know. Yeah. I also the Ayanda MVP.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
She
The
took
home run.
over.
She
Right.
took over the, yeah.
And now apparently
Downgrade.
there are concerns that the numbers are not looking so good because people are used to, you know,
Back on the research
you
Nhlanhla was talking
and
about.
now it's a different kind of person.
Yeah.
You know. So-
And also downgrading, because like you're on this national 94.7, then you go
Go
back.
back.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
the crowd, like, look, people come to the radio for different things,
Mm.
right? It's sometimes about the delivery and the execution of you as a host,
Yeah.
or the content that is there,
Yeah.
and the team that is around you. You know, will always make a difference. So I think with Ayanda, when she left, like, you know, she was having her own thing. Like,
Yeah.
which was
I
nice.
enjoyed her
I
on
also
94,
enjoyed her
and I'm
there.
no longer enjoying her.
Yeah,
Why? Because
yeah.
also,
Right now.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Also,
why
maybe
a target
she's
market.
also not a person that
Yeah.
is a driver that will drive you from 3 to 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
feel.
like, you know, because the energies are different.
Nah.
Because she was used to talking to the
Yeah.
office people.
Yes.
Maybe she's
Yeah.
still adjusting as well. And I've also heard that being on a radio to make it work takes a bit of a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the whole 1-year contracts really does not do justice
Yeah.
to people that are on the radio.
Yeah.
Because remember now, Ubuyagu
947.
12 to 3 show
Okay.
Yeah.
that she did.
Yeah.
And now she has to do a 3 to 6, right? So the audience is completely different.
Yeah, the
Because
audience
that
is
side, she had national, she had like office people.
Yeah.
Because she
Yeah.
had like, you know,
The
people that are in the
infrastructure.
first
Yeah.
The infrastructure also played a role. So now she's gone back
Ever
to the
since.
place that elevated her, and that place is still the same.
Yeah.
So now she has to go back and adjust to those things that were the same.
Yeah.
So, you know,
The
now
alignment
maybe
of the visions,
psychologically as
yeah.
well, she's still trying to adapt into the whole thing. But with that said, she's being judged
I feel
because the
Yeah.
numbers, but the research was not done.
It's so true because also when you talk about you know the numbers, the big question was who's going to get into the space is Dineo when she leaves, and the lady that usually stands in for
Matt
her,
L or Marion.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know she's brilliant,
Yeah.
you know, but at the same time people are saying she might not be taken because of the numbers.
Yeah.
But and then you start thinking, but she used to stand in and she's so good.
Yeah. You
Why
would
don't you
listen to
allow
that show.
her? Because we would listen.
Yeah,
right?
most definitely.
So why
Netta
not
was
allow
amazing
her
on that show.
to grow, like you say that you know a year it's a short space of time. You need to allow at least.
Because you're not
You know,
yourself, you're
not
under
yourself,
pressure.
you know.
And you can
So
make a
then,
lot
if
of
you don't
mistakes.
have the numbers, when are you going to get an opportunity to because what I believe in is if you show potential, we should also pay attention to that.
Yeah, true.
Right? The fact that she can stand in for Dineo when she's not there, that shows that she's got a potential to do it. Why not give her the opportunity to do it? You know.
Takes
But now,
bravery.
how do you give her the opportunity, like you're saying, without the numbers? Because now, remember, the criteria is now focused on the numbers, right?
But where
That's
do
where
you
the
start
focus
to get
is.
the numbers? Where do you start?
And where are
You
these
see,
numbers?
If that research was done well,
Yeah.
right, to know that who the audience is, who are we communicating
And
with?
if una le
And I
audience.
mean, like this what we do right now.
Yeah.
It also can help them because then they would know what their numbers look like.
Yeah.
They would know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
But right now, they're still clutching on those numbers,
Yeah.
the radio,
Yeah.
on saying they're not adapting to new ways and new ways of doing things. They're still stuck in the past and they want what the past success was to also shine in 2022, which will never
Yeah.
happen.
Aish.
2022 has got different dynamics.
Yeah,
The technology is absolutely like on another level. And how delivery, how reports, how lifetime, kind of getting real-time
Real-time,
response
yeah.
is, you know, that is what would determine everything. But the problem is you've got people with an old mindset that want to do radio like it was radio before it was FM.
Yeah.
That are
They're not
like
adapting.
there, and
that's
they're not
why-
adaptive
That's
to
why
new
a
ways
lot of radio
doing
stations are
things.
losing numbers.
Yeah.
Because they're still stuck in it, like
The
you say,
old
the old way of
mandated
doing,
way, yeah.
things. And now because of how technology has advanced, things are moving and change it so fast. And if you can't keep up, then
Adapt or die.
you get what I mean. And I love what you're saying, because once you don't have the listener at the center of everything that you're doing, then you might as well serve yourself, because that's what you're doing basically.
Yeah.
So you always have to think of the listener. What is it that they want?
Of
Why do they
course.
want it? What would it mean to them? What are the things that would challenge the listener to want
Or their
to get more?
values.
You get what I mean? And engage. Most importantly,
Engage.
engage.
Yes, you
So-
need to engage with your listener.
I
Because I
feel
think
you.
that, because now if you're bringing in somebody because of the numbers, you're no longer accommodating your listeners.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
accommodating
Their
their
followers.
audience.
And
You
probably
know?
their audience are not even into that radio
They probably
station.
don't even
Exactly.
care about
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
So that's where we lose the mark. But if we concentrate on who our listener is, what is it that has worked for them? I mean, engage with them.
Yeah.
Like, on a daily.
What do they
But
care
now,
about?
what,
Their
you
needs.
know?
What problems are you solving
Exactly.
for them?
Exactly.
And what draws them to you?
To
what
you.
makes them gravitate
As a
towards
ser-
you, your
as
show?
a service or
and
product.
they
Yeah, because
feel
they've
that
got
I
so
will
many other
never
options.
True.
lose this show
Yeah.
because this is what this show gives me.
Yeah.
But then if you can't go back to those basics and actually cover those basics,
Yeah.
because now you've got a person with 4.7 million followers on whatever social platform, you feel, I know this is my person.
Yeah.
But they forget one thing. I'll always go back to the Southgate test. Like, I'll always go back to the Southgate test.
Yeah.
So the Southgate test literally means if you walk into Southgate, Southgate imoli yakudala,
Yeah.
like it's been
Very
there forever.
old, yeah.
But everybody goes there, young,
Yeah.
old, like, all these age groups. So if you walk into Southgate Mall
Yes.
and you don't get recognized, khohlwa baba, like, you don't matter. You honestly don't matter, So that's the Southgate test. So if you can't pass the Southgate test,
Test, yeah.
Forget it.
Asikho lapho.
because people that go there commute,
So
they
so
go into
so
taxis,
for
they
you
go
to
into
know if you've
buses,
made
like,
it,
Yeah. Go to Southgate.
Southgate test, Baba.
Ha.
Like, we need to put you through to the Southgate
Southgate
test.
test, and then it's almost like walking barefooted on fire. And okay, new pass that ice bucket test,
And if you can't pass the Southgate test,
forget it.
Because, like we're saying, the numbers don't necessarily translate
Yeah.
that you've made it.
Yeah.
People buy numbers, you promote, you get ghost numbers.
Yes.
So if you want to see the true reflection of numbers, you look at the likes, you look at the comments.
Yeah.
They will never match
Yeah.
the 4.7
They
or the
never
whatever.
match.
They
Yeah, why
never
though?
match.
There's-
Exactly. So that's where
No, but
you
that's the
see the
thing.
imbalance. So
Yeah.
it's okay, fine. You can't have 15,000 followers and
Yeah.
you only get 10 likes.
10 likes, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
It
yeah.
just does not make sense.
it didn't
you can't even crack
you didn't
1,000.
organically get there.
Yeah.
Did not.
Something happened along
Something
the way.
happened along
So
the
you're
way.
cheating
And then
the
that's where
system.
we see that you cheated the system.
Yeah.
But because that's what people, the corporates, the people that think you are relevant, that's what they want to see.
I feel sorry.
But had they known that you can buy these things,
yeah.
done their research, spoken to the right people, interview these people, test them.
Yeah.
Test them into your
Give them
platform.
a Southgate test.
Southgate
Take them
test.
to a Southgate
course,
test.
yeah.
If they don't
And
pass the
quantify
Southgate
these
test,
numbers.
forget it.
The face
Yeah.
value.
Southgate, like I'm saying, Southgate,
Yeah.
here, like everybody goes there.
True.
Like, you know
It's
what I'm
so
saying?
friendly. It's like my Facebook.
It is, but you still get recognized
Yeah.
as you walk in because there's different entrances,
True.
like different, like kuvele kube mnyama
Kusemakhaya.
around you.
Yeah.
Here's
That's
so and
Kribela.
so. But then if you don't get that,
Yeah, then. So what these brands are doing then, they are hiring these influencers based on face value, based on the numbers, and that's where they are getting it wrong. And I just really, I just want to say kudos to the other radio station that corrected that, and maybe that's how they were able to bring back the listenership and the reputation and what the culture of what that urban commercial radio station was, because they started firing. I think it was pre-COVID or post-COVID. They started firing a whole lot of influencers, and
Yeah.
the likes of Tibo Touch came back to the station. Now Metro is a respected family or contemporary brand now, radio brand, because now the talent that knows what the audience wants to listen to. I don't know, maybe they might have,
But
have to do a little bit of
there's
work.
still a bit of bone of contention when it comes to Tibo Touch, because other people are saying, but he's back, but he wants he left radio so many years ago, and he's still stuck there. He wants to take us back there.
Yeah.
We're not there.
He's not bringing
anymore.
something fresh.
Exactly.
Like we have moved, you know.
That's true.
He needs to catch up.
Cinema
you know?
options, man.
Yes.
And personally, I took a test. Obviously, it's not a Southgate test, but I listened, right?
Yes.
I listened, and dude, like I remember throughout that show, right? I relived a certain year in my life throughout that show.
Deja vu.
The kind of songs he was playing,
Yes.
the kind of things he was saying, you know, like I went back to that year, literally.
Was that a good or a bad thing?
No, it's a bad thing. The thing
We
is,
moved, we evolved.
what we are talking about now,
Yeah.
we are growing, we're evolving, we're changing.
Okay. Maybe
Look-
maybe let me ask.
Yeah.
Is it the content? Is it the music? What exactly took you back?
It's-
just said, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said, "Boo, boo, boo, boo," and
Okay.
that's all you need to do.
We no longer that was 15 years ago. Yeah. So right now we want to hear
Because the structure of the show is similar. For me, there wasn't any new segment that I heard. The structure is just similar. Mondays you're doing your Monday thing.
Yes.
Tuesday you're doing similar. The delivery the
It's
same.
exactly the same.
The only
so he
segment-
did not evolve as a broadcaster. So what he did is just throwing back what he used to do on a daily basis.
Exactly, because remember,
Reincarnate.
this is the person that also he started his online radio.
Yeah.
And when you have a space like that, you do as you please,
True.
right? Because really, nobody could actually tell you no. You get what I mean? So he's always been comfortable with who he has always
Being
been.
above.
There hasn't. I feel like there hasn't been anything that sort of unsettles him to want to jump
Yeah.
to the next step, or feel like I need to adjust certain things and do things differently, or you get what I mean. That's what I'm saying. He's still there.
Ignorance.
Was that not the mandate from his bosses to say, come back, revive us, and do what you used to do before?
Saving the
If that was the mandate,
Yeah.
it was a wrong mandate.
Yeah.
Because then it goes back to what we're talking about now, that you do stuff without proper research and finding out what is it that people want, right? And also the numbers will tell. In time, the numbers will tell. To say, particularly profiling the age group that listens to him, you know, is it people that are of our age group that can relate to him, or is it even the younger ones that are coming after us? You get what I mean?
The thing is, look, radio generally, right, has been slowly dying, right?
Yeah.
A very slow and very sad death, mainly because of what they bought onto the radio, right? And people get disgruntled.
Yeah.
People find options very, very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah.
If I don't get served what I used to be served 3 consecutive weeks, a month,
Yeah.
I need to find an alternative.
Yeah.
So maybe the thinking was, maybe let's take it back. And let's also look at the people that have left the radio space completely,
Baku
right?
manch, yeah.
Abaseko, you know what I'm saying? They're not where I can follow them.
Yeah.
They're not on a platform where I can actually go and say, okay, Abaseko lana ulana, let me actually
Let me
just follow
follow.
them there.
Yeah.
But they're nowhere in the radio space. And those are the people that could keep up with the current trends, but still maintain their presence of who we know them to be.
But you know what I
those
struggle
names are
with?
no longer there because of whatever courts that decided upon them and all of those things.
Yeah.
They're not there. But also, I think Nkululeko once mentioned it, Uguti, they're very lazy to look for new talent because there
that
is
for me,
that's it.
abundance of talent
There
out
is-
there.
In the absence of
But-
numbers and
Yeah.
the cloud.
Yeah.
Because right now the cloud is actually starting to cloud the judgments and the decisioning.
Yeah.
Or maybe it has to be a marriage between the talent and the social media presence and influence. Maybe if these brands
But guys,
or these platforms can strike a balance.
For me, it's all about talent.
That's it.
If you've got the right talent, it doesn't matter what the platform is. If you've got the right
if you
talent,
don't
But talent
that-
alone that
it's
does not have a
able
social
to-
media presence.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
a bit
No,
alarming.
no, but
Wilson being Kosi when they first found him in 1986, he had 0 Facebook likes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Disregard
Exactly.
him.
So
Yes.
we are judging
Hence I'm
quality
saying-
and value based on the era that we
The
are in,
requirement
the social.
of what radio is.
It's platform in radio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Requires you to have this voice first.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then the point of
Intellect.
view, obviously,
Yeah.
is-
Yeah. So it's got nothing
that's-
to do with social
and that's my
media.
thing. That's why I'm saying if you see potential,
Yeah.
give that person an opportunity because people can be drawn to that person.
And don't judge
then
them
the
based on
numbers
the
will
numbers.
rise because
Exactly.
that person is bringing what they're looking for.
Now we get what they're missing.
Exactly.
So that's why
I
I'm
get
saying,
you.
that's why I agree with Nkululeko that they're lazy to look for talent. Because as a station manager, one of the things that you need to do is to shop around, listen to
Yes.
other radio stations, listen to
Community.
you get what I mean?
Online,
Because each
yes.
radio station has its own flavor, right?
Kakhulu, yeah.
You can find that you're listening to a community radio station and you find someone that fits your flavor. And you can think of, okay, let me give them a certain show just to introduce them and see how it goes.
There's that
and,
effortless way of
getting
engaging.
in and engaging
Yeah.
and
I
doing
get
their
you.
thing.
And
Once
it's
you
quite
do
rare
that,
though. Because we are distracted, like there's the influx of information, it's the influx of content that can just overshadow the gold. You know, I think that these decision makers, the laziness, or maybe they're just getting so distracted
By what?
But
by the
what?
influx of, fakeness, face value.
No,
and,
but that's
all
when you've
these
got a
influencers.
dedicated department. That's where you dedicate a team.
Hiring the
That-
right.
Yeah, because
You
there's
know-
a task team, there's
Yeah.
But
committees,
guys-
there's
Yeah.
something that has to exist
Let-
for your radio station to actually be ahead of your
Mm.
peers. But then if you do not have that particular force
Yeah.
in place, then we really can't expect
Yeah.
progress
Ignorance.
from you.
Also,
So radio is
one of the two things
Yeah.
that we also need to take cognizance of. One is the culture of the organization,
Yeah.
right? If it's run in a certain way, right? That sort of get rooted. That everybody else that comes, they adopt that. It keeps going.
Those
it keeps
values.
going. Those values,
Yeah.
right, and principles as well, right? Because then they dictate how we conduct ourselves, how we then relate with each other, right? Secondly, let's look at the age group of people that are in management positions.
Oh, how do they even get
Right?
there?
Right? And you're likely to find that these are the people that will tell you, I was here before you were born. Who are you to come and tell me what you do?
And they're not
right?
adapting, they're not changing, they're not.
No, but also remember, generations are different.
Yeah, true.
There are generations that can adapt easy. There are generations that are very rigid. You get what I mean? So those are some of the intricacies that also bring problems or challenges
Within
in
the
spaces
institutions.
within the institutions. Whether it's radio, whether it's TV, whether it's a production company, all of those things play there.
And also, I think another thing that we need to speak about with that said
Yeah.
is how they got those particular positions.
Yeah.
Are
The
they
how.
qualified to be
Yeah.
there?
Are they
Because,
trained?
right, I think even if you can be whatever generation, but if you are qualified to be there, you would know that everything evolves
Yeah.
with time,
Yeah.
that nothing stays like the same forever. And then you would definitely find new ways of doing things. But then if you were held, Barangwanaka, here's a position, go and work.
Yeah.
All you'll ever do is exactly what you've been told to
Oh,
do.
yes.
You will not have an open mind. You will
So
not
true.
have an open mind. So that
You're not
becomes a
challenged.
problem.
Yeah, you're
That
not
is a
challenged at
problem
all.
because now look at the SABC on its own, right? At some point they hired somebody that said who was the COO,
Yeah.
had no matric.
And that is
But
one
look
of the
at how he
highest
changed the
positions.
lives of the people and how radio then sort of had a meaningful
Yeah, no, it was
place in
radio
people's
was
lives,
the
right?
actually go
And
to
how
social
he
media.
internalized
Yeah.
everything, that everything is going to be local. Let us
Yeah.
push local because local people need to be paid. They're creating this for us.
Yeah.
Let's make sure
Even
that
that
they get
thing.
compensated. Let's extend the contracts because it's not fair to have
Yeah.
a 1-year contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, yes, he was not
got
like
it
the
right.
most learned man,
Yeah.
but he had a vision for the
Yes.
place that he found himself in. So, like, those are the things that
The
we need to take
mindset
into
as well.
effect. So, when you're bringing in somebody, I always say that even if you're not the most qualified person, the most learned person to be there, but have a vision, but also surround yourself with a very smart team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will make you shine. They will make you
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah.
But then if we're not umalume wami uthe, and you're not going to change anything.
I'll
Believe
come
you
out
me.
Outside the narrative.
No,
or
you
outside
can't. You can't.
Umalumete.
Because in Duna ite,
Yeah.
and there's nothing that you're going to change about it.
Umthetho uthi.
Umthetho awuvumi.
Umthetho awuvumi.
Umthetho awuvumi.
So
You
what
know?
you're saying, like in entire law, ultimately, these decision makers or these big bosses are still trying to solve the new age problems with the old mindset.
Anyeke angitshela ungithole la
That's what it
uzongishiya la.
is.
That's
Let's
the
do
mentality.
a shift. Let's do
Yeah,
the
no.
decline.
You found me here, you leave me
You leave
here.
me here.
And like, believe you me, it happens exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Because the mentality of the seniority does not change. But you guys come in with all sorts of dynamic ideas, innovative ideas, and you want to move and you want progress. You'll not be listened to.
So now when you talk
except-
culture, right? Because I'm reporting to you, I'm a manager, and you've got this kind of a leadership style or management style.
Yeah.
Already, I get structured to operate that way. When you leave and a step in, what happens? It continues.
You live
Yes,
Yeah.
it has to.
That culture.
It has to.
I think also
Systems.
exactly
Systems,
those systems
yeah.
in place.
There has
And-
to be a system in place.
And also based on my entrepreneurial experience, I've noticed that companies or even entrepreneurs, their values with and their habits tend to clash. A company can just write on the walls a glossy mission
Yeah.
statement
Yeah.
and vision, and you realize that the daily operations and the culture clashes with what is actually written
That's so
and
true.
glorified on the board.
Yeah.
So I think when the vision is articulated, then you're able to see it and experience it through the daily culture, like small things, how you welcome the customers and how you treat these customers and all of that. So probably the radio space or the radio industry has lost the touch with the original radio fans and audiences, you know, and also with the brands,
Yeah.
the disalignment. Probably these influences, bangaka abantu abalandela uLasizwe, and then bese uLasizwe uzodayisa Lexus or Mercedes Benz, or bangaka abantu abakwi-Twitter, abalikeayo, abatrashayo, abenza yonke lento, and then you go and advertise a household brand like Omo or Sunlight. Are those people even using those brands? Okay,
They'll
who
tell
has a
you that
buying
it's
power,
for
guys?
ancestors.
Yeah, like
Who has a buying power, guys? Is it these young TikTokers and influencers, or is it the people abasemsebenzini that don't even have time for Twitter?
Yes.
so
No,
And
that's
then
the
mawuhanjisha
thing.
influencer ke arisha umuntu
What
ozothenga.
value are you
Yeah.
bringing as an influencer? Because
Which 45-year-old
those are
has
the
has
things.
Twitter? Who buys more?
No, which Merc, except for those, okay, there's other people that have got Mercs in whatever ways that they got them.
Asma,
We know.
Yeah.
But, like, generally speaking, what is the average group of Mercedes drivers? And then you want to have a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
And then ufuna ukumnikeza i-Merc. Okay, cool. We're going to get that. There's cars that are being designed for youngsters. But imali una 18 yokuthenga that car with that
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So that's how you actually quantify this whole influencer thing. And like once again, we will emphasize on the fact that who is following you.
yeah.
It could be a 14-year-old that decided to have that account,
Twitter account,
and they will, even if mommy can give them everything,
Yeah.
they'll never give them the kind of money that you need. Hence, you need to investigate and interrogate where the buying power is. Where are my audience? Who am I speaking to? How are they engaging with me? You look at the comment section.
Yeah.
It'll tell you everything. That there's people that, you know, there's comments
Identify
whereby
the follower.
people will engage with themselves,
Yes.
but because they find value in each other in that particular platform.
Yeah.
But then if you don't get such things, it's like, okay, Nhlanhla, like,
Yeah.
what am I doing here? Oh, guys, I think we've exhausted the,
Yeah, no, we
the
are
radio,
done.
and then we went deep
I just
Yeah.
love how you know it went on from you know talent versus real talent versus influence. But I think the common or the elephant in the room here is actually the brands missing missing link like between who the customers are. So I think maybe brands still maybe go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Back in time at the malls, or we used to fill in
Yo,
service.
this wine smells nice. I don't know. But I'll just pull myself to myself.
So brands used to have activations and promotions where they actually, or maybe even house to house, they talk to people and they make them sign
Engage.
service. And
Exactly.
then they come
And that's why
back
they had
with
the
their
survey.
data.
Yeah.
Exactly. They come back with their data and then they identify who their buyer or their customer or their
And what
target
is it that they
market
would like?
is. And then they say, "Daisa kubo."
Yeah,
You know.
sir.
So your days we
I mean, you look
TikToker.
at DStv now. There's lost
1
so
million,
many
1 million subscribers gone,
You know,
down the drain.
How did it get to that point? Let's start there. You've got brand managers, you've got marketing managers, you've got
very
You got the same
Executive, by the
PR.
way.
No, you got the same PR company that does your everything.
Exactly. How do you get to that point? How do you?
Let's
Pressure.
no. It's content. Let's just be
No,
frank.
exactly.
Because the reason why people are unsubscribing to that, there's no value.
Exactly.
The value like the value get is no longer
And
there.
the price.
So it's absolutely no. The price is irrelevant. If you're getting once
if you're
or
getting
once,
value,
or why?
if
you're getting
getting value,
Yeah.
price
You
is
won't-
immaterial.
it won't matter.
But you come back at home. Like us, because we get home in the wee hours of the morning,
Yeah.
and you want to catch up, or you want to watch something different, because you're battling to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find something that you watched 10 years ago,
Exactly.
and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
You come back 2 days later, it's the
It's
same
still
thing.
the same
Yeah,
thing.
true.
And 3 weeks later,
I-
it's the same thing. Even our kids, they now memorize the cartoons
Yeah.
that are currently playing.
So true.
And
it's
they
like,
watch
but
YouTube.
they
They
will
have a
tell-
better
Then
content
they,
on
they'll say
YouTube,
word for
actually.
word, this is what actually is going to happen.
Is,
So you're
yeah.
like, how do you know this? Like,
no,
they
pretty
watch it
much
every day.
every day.
And it's like, every day it's like this.
Or I
Every
downloaded
day
it, or
it's
I
like
hacked,
this.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I
feel
And it's
you.
like, okay, cool. So I think the only reason people still have the DStv is
Yeah.
because of the sports channels that are there, because
The
we're such a
televalence.
sports loving
Yeah.
nation. But other than that, we're not getting our money's worth.
Yeah,
Yeah, most
it's
definitely.
definitely not. And I take it as arrogance, eh?
Yeah.
I take it as
absolutely.
arrogance because
ANC vibes?
eh?
ANC vibes?
Ukuthi
Just say.
sizoba forced kuzoba kanje.
Noma bangayenza.
No, but like I
There
know.
still are people.
Look, I have monopolized the space.
Yeah.
Therefore, they don't have a choice. They're
Kuhlala
gonna keep
kunje.
coming
It's-
back
yeah,
to
it's
me.
ignorance, you did say.
It's arrogance, really,
Yeah.
because you cannot. I mean, you're getting money every month.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you don't have
Capacity.
capacity
To give me something new.
You're living in a country
I-
that has so much talent, that has
We've
so many
evolved,
production
yeah.
houses,
Yeah.
that has a lot of creativity that goes around,
Yeah.
right? Which you have an option of creating your own team that can go and put this thing together, or you can get Flex to come and do stuff and get
Yes.
another person to do stuff and just get the stuff on the platform. But you'd rather circulate my stuff
So
than
And
to open
like,
up and give
yo.
other
So you are
others an
forcing me some
opportunity.
menu or a dinner that I don't even want to eat. So what DStv is actually doing wrong is probably sticking to what worked 15 years ago. So they need to get up with a team of fresh minds to actually go find out what this
then also,
audience year
it then
2022
also-
wants to
It
watch
then also begs the question
and
that
give them that.
is there planning? I mean, organizations have what they call strategic plan, where they plan
Yeah.
for 3-5 years to say this is what we're going to do. So now you get, if you're seeing same thing over and over, you start thinking, do these people really plan?
And also the
I mean,
storylines.
look, they plan,
are the
guys. ne?
same.
Here's the thing, like we've just identified for 5 years, maybe for 3 years, the numbers are remaining the same, increasing, maybe with 0.5% on
Yeah.
an average every month.
Yeah.
That accumulates to more sales. And then when you look at the average at the end of the year,
Yeah.
it's still a good number, right? And you look at the partners that have come on board of recent times,
Yeah.
the advertising spend that is there, it's all coming from all the sporting world. And then the focus right there is the sporting channels, because that is where the influx of income is coming from.
Yeah.
So now the other parties,
Yeah.
because they hardly trend, we hardly speak about them.
Yeah.
The production companies that are taking care of those particular sections,
Yeah.
they don't necessarily step up. You look at the local interest. What is the local interest that we are deriving from those particular channels? There's absolutely nothing new.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing educational.
assumptions.
It's actually nothing local content consuming
Driven.
worthy,
Yeah.
you know. And then you ask yourself, okay, fine. If it was not for the sporting channel,
Yeah.
where would have these people be?
Ooh. So are you saying, sorry to interrupt your train of thought there. So what I'm picking up from you is that the sinking ship has actually has a resource or a certain sector that is saving it. The Titanic is
saving
actually,
grace.
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
sporting,
Yeah.
so you would
Yeah.
actually
And
get,
unfortunately,
now
it's
how
just a
many-
matter of time.
Yeah.
Because there's streaming platforms
Yes.
that people ditched DStv
yeah.
for.
yes.
And they're like, this is my alternative, you
Yeah.
know. Now, with those streaming channels, teka nyana right now, but it's not as bad as
Yeah.
because they're still giving opportunities to local talent.
Yeah.
They're still saying local,
Yes.
and they're still promoting what people want to see.
And the
they're
cost is-
listening to the people.
and the cost is
they're
also
getting the
competitive.
stories. It is also the pricing.
The price
It's
is
very
pricing.
competitive.
The pricing
Because
as
I mean,
well.
for me, I'm seeing the whole Nokia thing playing out here.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Right?
Blackberry vibes.
Blackberry
Yeah.
vibes, you know,
Yeah, I
it's the
remember.
whole thing. You can see the world is moving, but you're still stopping. You're having streaming, you know, whatever coming out,
Yes.
Yes.
but you're still stagnant where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be
It's the
thinking of
mindset.
how do I evolve from this? How do
What are
I?
they doing with Disney? There's something they're doing with Disney.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And
The-
it's 120 the subscription. Yeah, and it could actually be one of the reasons why I'm moving.
Threat. Is
Yeah.
it not a reaction to the threat of their existence?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is.
'Cause
But,
also the
but
content there
again,
is better.
is it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Does it come in at the right time, or are they
Exactly.
a little too late?
Yes.
Are they
That
still
could
going
be.
to be able to win people that have gone to Showmax? Are they still going to win back people that have gone to Netflix?
And
that
that
have gone
is also
to
a streaming platform on its own.
Exactly.
So people can actually pay the 120 wherever and
Yes.
still stream the particular channel without going back,
Back to DStv.
Oh, they shot themselves in the foot
Yes.
then
Yeah.
by eating
Yeah.
Disney
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah.
Because I'm much more enjoying Showmax now than the actual DStv because Showmax actually gives me local is like
Yeah, the content that you actually want to
That
watch.
you
that I
look
want
for.
to watch.
So like I think Showmax in that sporting
Yes, it does.
the
Yeah.
Showmax Pro.
Yeah.
That's when it's
It's
like.
like
But I think
420.
right now because they're still maybe trying to raise funds and
Yeah.
all of those things,
Yeah.
they're still pretty much expensive. There'll come a time where they come down.
Yeah.
So with
No,
DStv,
Showmax has different options.
Yes, yes.
The affordable
The Pro,
ones.
yes.
Obviously, do not give you more, but it allows you based on your budget and your interest on what you
true.
can.
And
you can
also
watch.
thinking about the consumers, what we went through economically due to COVID, you know, and then a streaming platform or a broadcaster still coming back with a very, like, it's been a year since, no, 8 months since we've been out of COVID, and maybe our economy has a little bit improved, but then you're not thinking for the customers and the people that are keeping the wheels or the vehicle moving. They could have just gave us the grace and drop the raise, the prices, drop the prices
Could have dropped
and
the
say we are
prices.
together in this.
Yeah.
Many
But
of them
also-
let during the COVID. I was like, okay,
and that
bye, I'm
one,
moving.
yeah, connecting the password sharing. I think they should not have cut that.
Yeah,
That also might have been the reason why they've been set
Yeah.
back. Because they were like slightly, look, even if the four of us
Yes.
could not necessarily afford 850
$850,
a month.
Yeah, 850.
But if we contributed as
We
the four of
split
us,
it.
and then we split it amongst each other,
Yeah.
so right,
Yeah.
Umuntu still got that.
And we did
That's
that
how
through
we did-
COVID.
Yes,
Yeah, we did
because
that
that's
through
what
COVID.
people. That's what life has taught us. But when people are doing that, you go again when a food.
We are cut.
You're like, no, I'm going to cut this
Yeah,
thing.
and now we are
You're
limited to
already
two,
not giving
actually.
people what they
Yeah,
want, and people
yeah.
have made a compromise
Yeah.
to still stick with you, but you become more arrogant, and you're like. I'm gonna cut
It's
and
enforced
then
that.
I'm gonna force people
Yeah.
the 2 passwords now
Yes.
that can be shared.
And then you can't
Share.
watch at the same time. So what my
So-
friend and I do, we're like, Tommy, I'm gonna watch from 8:30 to 10:30, and then sometimes when you try to log in,
Yeah.
it says there's a limit,
Can't,
and you're
yeah.
like, hi, are you
and-
watching?
and-
Please log out so that we can watch. But 2 years
And
ago,
you've
we'll
seen-
just share.
And that's the thing. That's the
So
thing.
DStv is
What-
arrogant.
you spoke about people that are able to afford your
Yes.
target market, right? Obviously, people that could afford are people that others have 2 houses. Others they've got a holiday home. They've got a home where they live.
Yes.
So when they go to their holiday home, they still use the same to log in. Now you're forcing them to pay twice of what they were paying, wouldn't they then change to go to
They
another
will
platform?
move because you're not
They will.
appreciated, and
Obviously.
also the track record of your loyalty, like it's not even counted.
You don't
Where are the
even care for
incentives?
me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I've been your
oh,
loyal
give me a year
customer
free of
for-
this thing.
for
you
when
know?
we still had the internet decoder.
Yeah.
I grew with you, but there's nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, because those are the things that you need to look at. I mean, the research thing always
Yeah.
will come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the people that have been there, have been in your system for a while, surely there should be some sort of
Incentives,
discounts,
yeah.
incentives of
Rewards.
some sort,
Yeah.
reward,
Like
something,
loyalty
you know what I'm saying?
Like a
reward
thank
kind
Some
of
you.
loyalty,
thing.
something
Yeah.
that have been there. Because imagine they're with you when a decoder was still a thing. There was open time
Yes.
back in the day.
Yes.
And then from the open time to the decoder thing, there was a point when we had like a flat rate for all DStv
Yes.
subscriptions.
But
And then I
every year
don't know which
increase.
smart person came
Yes.
in. Because if it was kept at that, I kid you not,
Yeah.
they would be increasing in their numbers.
They will not
But
be
then
losing
they
us.
decided ukuthi no, we'll have
Have to.
packages.
Yeah.
Sizoba divide, khona
Yeah.
laba abe premium, khona
Yeah.
laba
Yeah.
abe compact
Yeah.
plus and all those things. Those are the things that they lost out on. So if they can go back now, ne? I'm not saying reimburse, I don't know, maybe reimburse the 850 people, Baba can get Disney Plus, Baba can get Showmax,
Yeah.
Baba can get
For a month or
Netflix, ne?
3.
So
for maybe
a good
6 months,
package.
ne?
Yes.
And then go back.
But also
and
bring
set
new
the
content.
standard price.
And bring
It's
new
pointless
fresh
to do that
content.
with the old content.
Because we
Bring
want the
new
local.
content.
That's another thing.
So, based on some little bit of research that I've done, so lately what they've done is they've given a window period to their compact customers. They are giving them 2 channels access for probably the next month or 2. They're giving them ESPN, that is channel 219, and then One Magic, that is channel 103.
Yeah.
So just to give them that glimpse into the premium life. But then after that period,
That's it.
yeah, so I think they're trying to sort of like win them back into, or
yeah.
lure them, or fish them into getting a premium.
Yeah.
So it's still, I don't think it's working because
Yeah.
abahambile abantu 1 billion.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
so
gonna
when you
work.
got off Showmax, Netflix, where do you find yourself drawn to the most?
Sure, no, those are the only spaces. There's Prime Video.
Yeah, there's Prime
There's
Video
Apple
as
TV.
well. Yeah, yeah.
There's
Hulu now.
there's Hulu. There's
And
what's
Hulu
this last one?
Hulu doesn't mean Hulu main. It's just Hulu.
That's Hulu.
When I saw it, I thought Hulu main. Okay, so no, I thought we'll channel or it's a streaming platform basically the Hulu main. Hulu main.
It's an American.
Oh, it's an American platform. So you are on three streaming devices.
So there's that variety.
Laugh out loud, la, 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 that. Life is not that serious. Hulu many. But what's on Hulu? Many.
Many. There's many. In Hulu many. There's
Hulu
many.
many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things like Keeping Up with the Kardashians are there.
That's what has drawn me to Disney Plus, and
Yeah.
it's just breaks my budget by 120. So I want to, and also Queens. That stars Brandy and Eve, the former rapper Eve.
Yeah. Is it a
And
reality show? What is it?
it's a series about these 4 women that are trying to break into the music industry. It's so interesting. I saw a couple of trailers, and the Kardashians as well, and some fresh new movies that I
Yeah.
cannot find on Showmax, on DStv, as well as on Netflix.
So you're loving the experience.
Exactly, and it's cheaper, 120.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not bad.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Because now when you say 120 plus 200 rand on premium of Netflix, and then probably with the Showmax, which still gives you local is lekker, maybe it's around 320 or 4 something. When you combine all of that, it takes you, or it's even lesser than a DStv premium.
Oh,
Smart.
still,
And then
still.
password sharing as well, no limits.
Oh,
Because Netflix also tried to limit that password sharing
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They saw that it's not working. So
Yeah,
it's
they
business
allow
as
it.
usual for
Yeah.
profiles. And we are still enjoying everything. And there are no limits at 200
so we
rand.
can still kazat.
Of course.
Yeah.
We family. Siyashare, siyavana. Siyavana.
Yeah, Well, speaking of Siavana, the country right now is
Yeah.
a bit divided with regards to our number one statesman.
Yes.
The number one citizen, rather, and how his case is just literally going to different lengths. He just did the unspeakable.
Yes.
He's the number one citizen. He's supposed to be the law-abiding citizen. He's
Of
supposed
course.
to be better than the former statesman.
Lead by
Who
example.
became the president of this country with more than 259 charges.
Mm-hmm.
But he still went on and became the president of this country. And now here we are. We've got a new president.
Yes.
In him from 2017. December, we go into the conference.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of spookies that are just like,
Crawling out.
slowly crawling out.
Yeah.
And the Arthur Fraser
Yeah.
issue where he was exposed with how much dollars?
Dollars, four
4 million,
4 million US dollars.
that was
in cash.
in cash, like it
Cash.
Hard cash.
Yes.
Reserve Bank unithini ngale. Unemali nje ehleli.
And
I
it's-
will
that's
also
why
breaking
it is
into
legal.
that farm and
Yeah.
need blessings ngama millions.
So it's just an ongoing case.
Yeah.
I mean, it started off last week
Yeah.
and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But he stood up and he said, "Let the law take its
Takes
course."
course.
So he's abiding when it suits him.
But
A public
yeah,
protector
I was
suspect.
about
just when she was
just
on the verge of investigating
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
number one
And she got
citizen.
suspended.
Look, but the writing was on the wall
Yeah.
that she would be suspended or like at some point, right? But now you look at the timing. The
Yeah.
timing of that was just completely something
red
that is
flags,
like
red
Yeah.
flags.
we should be talking about. And then when you look at the reputation, the history that's been given with regards to the new deputy public protector, it all favors the number one
Yeah.
citizen.
Yeah.
And
I-
what
I
is the
think-
common
I
I
thread
think
with all
it
these
also
things,
goes
man?
back to what you touched on. I can't remember if it's last week or a week before when you said they've got a team that they work with from the lower levels.
Yeah.
And they rise with those
From a task
teams.
teams,
You
yeah.
know, so you'd find that some part of the team move to other departments, and that can be strategically done as well. You know, to say I need to have eyes and ears there and there and there and there. So when things don't really go well, I know which button to press so things can work out well. You know, so
So what do you make of how, like how things are going to pan down? What do you think is going to happen? Because I mean, I think it was a day or two ago.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Is Mahashule the step aside rule?" I'm not sure how far that is going to last him, but there's a chance of him coming back.
Yeah.
And
He was campaigning about 2 weeks ago that he wants
with
to go
him
back
coming
into.
back with what the history that like or what's been playing out there
Yeah.
in front of our eyes with the ANC is that there's factions within factions within
Yeah,
factions and that party is divided and next year we're going into election, rather they are going into conference.
Yeah.
It's conference.
Yes,
Because Congress
conference.
is the youth league. So the
Yeah.
youth league goes to Congress and then the mother body goes to conference. So with that conference that is going to take place now, there's already divisions, right?
Yeah.
Look, when they went to conference in 2017, I think there were just two camps. It was the girl or the boy.
yeah,
It was just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
Roundabout now,
Yeah.
it's no longer the girl, it's no longer the boy. It's just so many things.
Yeah.
And looking at how the
confusing.
former statesman did things, he was the president of the country and was the president literally of ANC.
Yeah.
He took decisions.
Yeah.
Popular, unpopular, he took decisions. He could reshuffle in the wee hours of the
Anytime.
morning.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And Kusasa Kuseni Masivuka,
Yeah.
things have changed.
Every 3 months.
But with this current president, what he was smart in doing, I think that's when he saw. So he formed a lot of task teams
Yeah.
as opposed to reshuffling the cabinet as
Yeah.
many times as
He has the
Yeah.
manpower.
Yeah.
So those task teams have been observing what other departments have been doing, how they've been performing, and I think at the end of this reign or his term, he will go back, pull the stats, and say, Party X and Party X and Party Z have not been performing accordingly, and here are the stats.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
here are the task teams that have been set out there, that have been monitoring and evaluating how things have been going.
Yeah.
We tried this and that and that and that, and you still did not pull up your socks. Therefore, you will no longer be returning to this portfolio. And with that said, what is that going to do but the other people are aware of that in the particular party that is in,
Yeah.
and they're now trying to find a scandal, and they will not stop until they make sure that
They
the
are
step aside
digging.
rule actually
Applies.
comes to
Yeah.
life, and it applies
Yeah.
to him as well.
And now the question is, at what point will it come in? Will it come in much earlier before the conference or closer to the conference? Right.
It's growing.
Yeah.
It's growing there.
Yeah.
Because it's June. Ga batanyana, no. I so be warm, you know. But like what she said, warm.
Yeah.
You are there
Yeah.
and you got it, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a build up.
Yeah.
Because look, ultimately, the politics of the stomach are no longer what the ANC are. That's what the ANC is about.
Yeah.
It's no longer about a party that serves its people.
Yeah.
That will make sure that, because once, I think with the ANC, what happened here was, when you no longer have the common enemy amongst each other, you become enemies.
You do.
Yeah.
So the enemy then was apartheid, and we needed to get rid of the apartheid government.
scapegoat.
We needed to make sure that those people are out.
Yeah.
But as soon as those people were out, you've forgotten why you've taken those people
Yeah.
out. You've forgotten why you are now in power. You've forgotten to liberate your own
You
people.
forgot the vision.
And a vision is no longer there,
Yeah.
and the people that are where you are right now no longer matter. What matters now is that you're no longer there, I'm no longer there. Look at the
It's us
killings.
and them.
Look at the political killings
Yeah.
that have been there from the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
leading towards the conference. We're only halfway through the year
I
right
think that's
now.
They're
that's
trying
my
to expose
biggest
each other.
worry. That's my biggest worry, that because there's so many divisions,
Yeah.
right? People are going to get killed without even knowing which part or which clique basically killed them, because everybody's fighting to get the power that is there, and I think this, if they're not careful, could actually be what will take them out of being, the governing party, because
This is shocking.
because now they're so divided
Yeah.
that other parties can actually now be stronger, right? Because other people are going to get tired. They're going to leave, because when you look at the history, a lot of loyal members are
Yes.
elderly people that
Yeah,
come
true.
from the struggle, because they know how it
With
was
that
and it
mindset
went.
as well, yeah.
But now you've got a younger generation that thinks differently, that critically thinks about things. They don't just take whatever you tell them. And I feel that is going to be the downfall, right? But as I say, my biggest worry is the killings that are happening, because now the blood is going to spill over people that are innocent as well.
What is the motive behind these killings? Is it probably two parties, maybe power hungry, and then the other party that just fights for justice, fairness, and also adhering to the vision of
I doubt there's a
that
latter.
party?
I
So
dou-
people
I-
are just
I doubt
really,
there's a latter.
the division is caused by like who wants to lead, who wants to have a better
Power,
seat and all
it's
of
power
that.
struggle.
So
I
then
think-
we
I
are in the
think-
corrupt government
Yeah.
then.
I think it
Everything
started
actually
in
in South
Limpopo.
Africa is actually
Yeah.
corrupt. I think it's an observation I just made.
So the
today.
vision and the value of this
So I was
government
looking at
is
the
corruption.
corporate sector, the private sector, whereby, particularly on our space, right?
Yeah.
The public relations, the media space, and all of those things, whereby they don't necessarily hire based on what you know, but they hire you based on the instructions that you will take.
Yeah.
There's
Wow.
certain
Yeah.
spaces
Yeah.
that will get people that will only take instructions, that will never be innovative, that will never be creative, that will never bring anything onto the table, but they will always be
So they hire
following
puppets.
instructions.
Yep.
So once they follow instructions, there's no growth. And you look at the accounts that go to particular PR agencies,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's the same account
Yeah.
for, I don't
For
know, for
years.
years, you know. They sort of like monopolize towards that, but we'll never really speak out about that.
When you do,
look
we
at the
kill you.
people. No. When you do, like we find a way to discipline.
Yeah.
We
shut
discipline
you
you.
up.
We give you
now
warnings,
it's
and
basically
we find a
cut
way.
you out.
Yeah.
We
To
find
frustrate
ways
you
to
out of your
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
So we
I
frustrate
feel
you
you.
until
Yeah.
you're out of the
Yeah.
job. But we don't speak much about that. Our focus is so much on the government being corrupt, but we're not looking at other corrupt entities.
Yo.
There's just so much corruption that is taking place. We spoke about the Summers the other day,
Yeah.
and we spoke about how certain record labels are buying votes, are buying
Yeah.
categories,
Awards.
are buying awards, and all of those things. But like we're just focusing ANC,
On the
ANC.
problem, yeah.
I'm not saying they're right, I'm not saying they're
Yeah.
wrong, but I'm just simply saying the corruption is like
all
everywhere.
everywhere. What is
but
the
we're
root
picking
cause?
the ones that we want to speak about.
My observation is if you're a governing party,
Mm.
you also have a responsibility to bring moral regeneration in the society.
Mm.
Because now you are in the leadership.
Yes.
So whatever that you do, because remember you're a governing party, so you basically are the motherboard of basically everything, even the private sector as well. Because there are certain things that you can allow that you know that you can frustrate the private sector with.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to. So now if certain practices are done in the government space, it's easy for them to trickle down to
Yeah.
other spaces as well. To an extent that now, remember also, a lot of companies from the private sector, they get business from government.
Yes.
So now if government says this is how we work, if they say you can only call me by after 9,
Yes.
you're gonna have to do that because before
Those
8,
rules abide by those
you get what I
rules.
mean?
Yeah.
So now that then trickles down to every aspect of society, and now it becomes. It gets normalized because now this is how we work. This is how things should be done. Otherwise, if you come, if you get to be different, you get easily cut out, or you get isolated, or you know, or you can be compromised in certain ways as well.
So it's a global mindset, it's a global culture.
Is it a global thing or
governing.
is it an
It's not.
African thing?
I
Or
think
two.
let's reduce it to our country because
Yeah.
I think it differs from one country to the other.
Yeah.
There might be similarities in terms of, particularly in the African continent, in
Yes.
terms of how things are done and all of that. But also remember, because of the history from colonization, from all of those things,
Yeah.
things are sort of at some point differ from one country to the other. You know, and I feel that what happened in Polokwane, I feel that that was the year when hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Basically, that was the year that sort of declared or dictated how things would now change.
Sure.
And things changed, you know, and that's where we find ourselves with this culture around us. Because if things were done differently at that point, right, we could have now be having a different discussion. But the manner in which Thabo Mbeki was taken out, the reasons when you listen why he was taken out, you realize that it was issues of the politics of the stomach,
Yeah.
mainly, nothing else.
Sure.
Then after that, you get into a position, because we put you there, you're going to owe us, right?
Yeah.
The integrity.
It then,
Yeah.
you know, grows. It then grows.
Sure.
Eventually, everybody becomes part of it. Whether you practice it or you don't practice it, but it affects you in some way.
It does, and you end up being part of that narrative or part of that habit.
Yeah.
Who needs to change? What needs to change?
Where do we start?
What a big question.
Because even when you want to start, then you get no support. You get like a zero support.
Yeah.
You create,
Yeah.
I feel.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you create a platform for yourself, you know, where you'll change the mindset of the people that are around you. And then all those people
Start
that are
small.
around, you start small, but you
Yeah.
start with yourself, you know. If ever we knew you to be a certain kind of person, change, let's see the consistency in your change,
Yeah.
and then we'll just know that, okay, fine, izinto ziyachiga, and you know, if he can change, so can I. Okay, we don't have much time, ne?
Yeah.
There's one issue that we read about that is sort of making social media headlines right now. Mohale is coming out with a tell-all interview that will be aired on
It's a
Showmax.
special,
Yeah,
a
it's
part
just going
two
to be
special.
a 2-part special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've seen how Somizi has spoken about
Yeah.
everything that they went
What
through.
went on to the men?
Yeah,
to the
what
failed
went down,
marriage,
and
yeah.
Mohale has not necessarily said much. What can we expect? What do you think is going to be said there?
We're going to hear the truth beyond power. We're going to probably get his side beyond tweets. And apparently, allegedly, I don't want to be sued. There was a recording that exposed the dynamics and the reality of that failed marriage. So, well, he was the one that actually just went on to expose what went wrong in the relationship or in the marriage through Twitter, through social media, the trashing and all of that. And there was a hashtag, we believe Mohale, we stand with Mohale. And then Somizi came back with a season 5 of the reality TV show to tell his side of the story. But like, well, nathi singabantu, there are 2 sides to the story or 3 sides to the story. And we're not going to just take what Somizi is giving us on season 5. We want to hear what Mohale has to say.
But there's
And
always
we
3
remain
sides to
neutral.
a
We're not
story.
taking sides.
There's always three sides to a story.
Exactly.
That is true.
Yeah,
that
3
is
sides.
true. I think, remember when Mohale, when the recording came out,
Yes.
it was not intentional for it to go public.
Yeah.
The
It was a
reports,
private.
the reports are saying it was him trying to give the production company why he will not continue with Living the Dream.
Yeah.
So now he had to go to that extent of explaining how the situation makes it difficult for him to be part of. Then the recording was leaked out, right? And as it was leaked, there are parts of it that social media also added and interpreted in certain ways that were not so truthful. Things like fisting. Mohale did not talk about fisting.
Okay.
But it started on social media, but it trended
They
as though
assumed.
he said it.
Yeah.
Right. So fair enough. Somizi comes with season 5, as you rightfully
Yes.
say. He gives his side of the story. Right. Do we have Mohale's full side of the story?
Then we have to wait
We
until
don't,
August
right?
for the special
So for me
tell us
is
that. Yeah.
now we're getting an opportunity to basically hear both sides of stories. Now Mohale giving it to us.
Yeah.
As,
Fully.
as you said, beyond power.
Yes.
Right. Fully giving his side of the story. So then, as people, we can then weigh to say what is
Which
the
side
truth,
to fall on.
what is not so true, right? And I personally appreciate the fact that he has taken that initiative to say, let me give my side of story.
Yeah.
And why I appreciate this, because he has always been quiet. He's always been quiet. He's been dragged, he's been named, but he's always been quiet, right?
The
And
fire he started. Now he's the victim.
no, but it wasn't intentional at the same time. Not that
Who
I'm
How
broke
so?
out
Because
the
I
failed
think
marriage?
wasn't he
It
the
is-
first
he
one
started.
to actually speak
Now
about
he can't take the heat.
the things that went down in that marriage?
No,
Or
but
was
he's
it
the
what
one that
people
went.
actually spoke about?
He gave that information to a production company. They recorded him giving that information. Then it was leaked to the public.
But he supported that
So,
that
okay,
story,
fine.
that narrative of cancel Somizi and the whole Campaign.
I'm gonna support it anyway.
yeah, true. Okay,
So-
in conclusion, do we stand with do we take sides or
We wait.
we stand with the
we
truth?
I think let's wait
Do we
for
stand
his.
with
Wait
Mohale?
for
Let's
his
wait
side
for
of
his
the story,
side.
'cause
Then
they both
when
now
we have
speaking.
heard, that's personally,
Yes.
I'm saying let's wait for his side.
Yeah, and then
once we've
decide.
heard his side,
Yeah.
we've heard Somizi's, and we can always go back and play, living the dream and,
Yes.
and check again. Then
And now identify.
Then we can be able to say, okay,
Yeah.
or not so, or not. So, you get what I mean? I feel that
As
at
online
that time-
in-laws, we're gonna decide. Yeah, because we've been
As
part of this
online.
marriage. This
yeah.
this marriage
That's
belongs to
true.
us.
That's true.
The whole production, it belongs to us. So online in-laws,
Yeah.
Team Mohale, Team Somizi, or Team Truth.
Yeah.
Team Truth.
Team Truth.
Of course.
Definitely Team
Cool.
Truth.
Truth.
We're here for it.
And lastly, Nkululeko, I don't know. Do you want to add something about Coach Pitso's departure at Al Ahly? Ndiyakufaka, Joe.
Yeah,
Like, no.
ngena,
I just
ngena.
want to know what your observation is, and do you think he's going somewhere? Please, and then we can wrap it up.
Now, what I'd like to hear, the big questions.
Thank you.
Did
Thank
he
you for
decide?
the mic.
Did he decide to leave, or was it amicable?
Yeah, it was a power play. He decided to leave before he was fired. Because if he had stayed, they were not going to fire him. If he had stayed, they were going to force him to work with Arabs. So it's like there's the 4 of us on camera,
Yeah.
right? And we go to Egypt.
Yeah.
We are the pillar of each other's strength. One of us is the head coach. You watch the videos to help the team.
Yeah.
You train the team.
Yeah.
You help me decide who to take off during the match, right?
Yeah.
So now, because I didn't win, something called the Champions League, right? Now, the concession that was going to be made was that let's take Kgomotso out of your team, bring an Egyptian legend into that team. Let's take someone else, and then you feel lonelier because you are in a foreign country,
Yeah.
speaking a foreign language,
Yeah.
and being treated badly there every time your team loses. You know, so he decided, let me take the jump. And anyways, because there are offers, you know.
I wanted to ask, do you think there's more offers? Could they be African? Could they be European?
International.
Like,
So for now,
Yeah.
our journalists are reporting that there's offers in the Middle East, so Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and they also were explicit in saying it. His wife is running his agency. His wife is his agent, and they were saying that they were speaking, not necessarily speaking, but they got offers even from 3 South African clubs. But his salary will always be the issue with South African clubs because he's moved to the level of earning 3 million rands per month because it's been paid in dollars, in US dollars.
Can I see him? 3 days.
Man, you guys can wrap up.
all right, no, thank you so much, because that's what I like. What was another talking point.
Yeah.
I wish you had more time, because
Yeah,
I'll
then
ask
we could-
Nkululeko
yeah.
about Hugo Boss's utterances in that conference. But there's absolutely no time,
Yeah.
and all we have was all you spoke about now.
Yeah,
If we had
yeah.
more time, we'll definitely speak about more things.
Yeah.
Tell us how it was.
It was amazing. I'll give it a 9.5, and
Where's the half going?
Like,
the half it'll be much more on the probably the narrative,
Okay.
and
Alright, fair
also
enough.
like but for me it's such an amazing platform where you are able to unrestrictedly express yourself, express your
Yeah,
views,
yeah.
because there could be other Kgomotsos that think or see this these issues in a certain light. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I just love the freedom and also the intellect. Learning a lot from you hosts. It's quite amazing. So it was amazing for me.
you'll come back one day in Varash.
Most definitely.
Looking as fabulous as you are.
Most definitely.
Yes.
More fur.
Life is fair.
That's what you're doing on Netflix. Not everything, but there's a project you're working on Netflix.
Yes, I am working on my 13-part reality TV series where I'm scouting for the South Africa's next supermodel. I truly believe he's out there in Sebokeng, Garankuwa, Soweto, or somewhere in Hammarskraal. So basically, it's, in the last 25 years, we have not had a South African black model walking at Victoria's Secret or in the cover of Vogue magazine. Our African brothers and sisters are representing us so well in terms of fashion and specifically modeling, but there has not been a black South African model really, really dominating the international space and opportunities. So as a model coach who's been in the business in the last 17 years, it's one of my biggest dreams, and I hope that this new generation and also with the looks and the features, they can be able to fit in and break barriers and these racial divisions that are dominating the fashion and the modeling industry internationally. All the best. Thank you.
Wow. Sure. We can't wait actually for that to come alive.
Can't
Yeah.
wait. It's-
Because we need something fresh. We need something
yeah,
new.
yeah.
We exhausted like
Yeah.
with what we're watching
and also the
consuming.
modeling industry in South Africa,
Yeah.
it's still a bit of a taboo. It's still one of those disrespected career spaces. You know how black parents are. No child of mine is going to be walking in skimpy clothes in front
Because
of
they also
people.
believe it's a brainless industry.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like beauty with no brains, and is modeling a real career? Can you make a living out of it? Obviously, the South African industry still has a long way to go, but there are great opportunities because advertising still dominates, and we still need models in TV commercials and also the fashion industry. They cannot, designers and clothing brands can't sell without models. So I want to change that stereotype, and also due to COVID, the industry took a massive knock. So I want the TV show to revolutionize the industry and also create more opportunities. And with the help of the social media era and also the internet age, there are more opportunities where models can now really own their portfolios and their space, and by using social media to be able to get scouted and get recognized by international brands. And also just letting go of or trying to challenge the whole Instagram modeling thing and legit modeling. Yeah, it's not about
time.
selfies and
It's about time.
yeah, because there's a lot of threats and people think just because they take good pictures with iPhone and great lighting, then by default they are top models now. Modeling is still a hard work. Modeling is still a demanding job.
Yeah.
Hours and hours of being on set, the demands of looking healthy, walking properly, posing properly, and acting
And
accurately to sell a brand on
Naomi
these
Campbell
platforms.
did say that
Exactly.
when she looks at the current generation, she feels like if they came at her time, they would have
They wouldn't
broken
survive.
down. They would
They
not
wouldn't
have
survived. Yeah, because it was cutthroat. And
Yeah.
Naomi was one of the few black models that were always objectified and scrutinized, and she broke
a
those
lot.
barriers.
All of them,
And right now, the new generation's sort of like social media influenced. They don't even put in a whole lot of hard work that the likes of Iman, Alec work,
Yeah,
and locally Lerato Molois and your precious Moloi as well, that they were able to just break those barriers. But in the last years, South African modeling industry is sort of taking a nosedive. So, as one of the key players and the greatest stakeholders in the industry, I really hope that the TV show can just revolutionize and put back the modeling industry where it belongs, and maybe to greater heights.
Yeah.
All right, so looking forward to that. And with that said, it is a wrap from us. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and we are appreciative of the comments. Do comment on the content and let us know what you think with everything that we have said. With that said, guys, take care of each other, love each other, and never ever do anything with half your heart. That's it from us.
I love and lie. Thank you.
Nkululeko on Cultr.